recipe for you page. It's where lovely people like yourself are scrolling along, and then you find us and you're like, oh, I like this group. So back to you, Frank.
All right, so that is cooking away. I have a second plate back here that I will put them when they're cooked. They're going to take about 8 minutes to cook because we're going to add them back in for another more minutes. But you know the thing is, and I tell everybody when you're working with any kind of meat, do not be afraid. If you are not a professional chef, this is one of the things you should have in your oven or in your cabinet. Don't be afraid to use it. If when in doubt, you check it. It's an instant read thermometer. It's going to give you the best read. And with our sausage, I want these at about 145 because they're going to carry over, and I'm going to throw them back in after I've done the apples and the fennel. So I don't want to overcook the sausage. So right now, all I'm doing is about six minutes, just cooking them, trying not to become splattered.
Look at your likes going up. You are almost at 4,000 likes. Way to go, Frank. You deserve it. You work so hard for Food Talk TV.
Oh,
Woo!
thank you. You know,
And you have
Ashton,
150 people in here. Look at you, handsome. That's
welcome
very
everybody. I
good.
hope you're new and you're enjoying it. You know, we don't. I don't go live often. My schedule is kind of funny, but I will tell you, all of the recipes are donated by other creators as part of our group. Ashton is so generous with her content, so we put all of our lives we try to put up. We also put different commentary, and we're always looking for new creators. I hope you can hear me over the snap and crackle of searing sausage.
Yes, I can hear you. I hope you can hear me over Olivia screaming in the background.
All right, while that's searing, what I'm going to do is I got a new knife. I am so excited.
I know, baby.
So this particular dish actually uses shallots. Do you need to use shallots? No, you can use onions if you like, and you can also omit them if you don't like them. It's totally, you know, this is one of those things like a lot of very simple Italian cooking that comes in and comes over is it's really based on what's available in the season. If you don't like apples, you can use pears. If you don't like heavy onions, you could do scallions, I imagine, or you can just omit it. Like there's something I do that maybe I will do at the end if I happen to have a good run with it. Is sometimes at the end of this dish, I like a sweet pop, so I will throw on some pomegranate. And most people who watch me know I like pomegranate.
And you have a nifty hack to get the pomegranates out as well.
And this time, I actually bought a really nice pomegranate. And if I have time and this is sitting, I'm going to show you how to take the pomegranates out.
I
Although I will
love
tell you,
that.
it is
I love it.
very tempting. It is so tempting to just buy them already done. But I want people to know if you don't have that, you can. All right, so now I have my shallots, and my shallots, I'm just going to, because everything is going to be sliced about the same, I'm just going to do the same thing with the
And
shallots.
a
I've just
thing that a lot of people don't know that
peeled
if
them
they,
very pieces. No reason, but I want them to cook fast, so I'm not going to be particular. What's that?
sorry, it skipped. I didn't hear you, Frank. It went all fuzzy, and then that's why I started talking. I'm so sorry.
Got it. All right. And when this stops crackling, I'll hear you a little bit better. All right. So this recipe uses one good sized shallot, and if you notice, it's just I'm making it really simple. I'm gonna help it along. I'll take them apart. If you see a core, if it looks a little woody or stocky, just take it out. No biggie. This is rustic food. This is not supposed to be super. Whew, that is a pungent shallot.
A fun fact about
So now I'm gonna just put.
a fun fact about shallots that a lot of
What's
people
that?
don't know is shallots have the taste of onion and garlic already combined.
Which is one of the reasons why I don't put garlic in this. Exactly for that reason. It's a nice balance. And if you can see these sausages, they're getting a nice little sear. I like to have a little texture on them, so I want to get some of the sear. Now, you've never worked with this, this is a real traditional treat. It's anise root or fennel. We eat it a lot in our family, especially around the holidays. I make a salad with this, with kale and oranges. I am taking these little fronds off. They're the tips. I'm going to save them. They're going to go in later at the end.
As a garnish?
Yeah, I'm going to just put it right on the top at the very end. It's got a really heavy, stocky bottom, so I'm going to take that off. And what I generally do to make my life easier is I follow the stalks when I cut it. So right now, all I'm doing while these things are cooking is I'm just preparing. And again, same way I cut the shallot, same kind of general direction. So when they all melt, and because I'm using whole sausages, when these all melt, it's going to resemble somewhat like a sausage, peppers, and onions effect.
I'm going to interrupt you right quick. Hey, y'all, this is Food Talk TV. Please make sure you're following us. Please share this live with 5 of your friends and family. It doesn't only help out your wonderful host that you see here today, it helps out all of our content creators here on Food Talk TV on TikTok. Also, if you miss this live, don't worry about it. We will have it posted on the YouTube or Facebook. We also have wonderful social media pages such as Instagram, Pinterest, and our amazing website, which Frank, this guy right here, this amazing guy works on. He gets it all done. He's excellent at it. He puts up our recipes, he does our events and everything like that. So everything you need to know about Food Talk TV is on the website. We also have cooking classes starting, and we also have cooking clubs. Don't forget to join. Links are in the bio.
Now, if you are new to cooking with fennel, it's got a slight licorice taste, which some people who don't like licorice may not enjoy it. But when it cooks, and soup, especially when it cooks really slow, it changes its flavor, and it just does have a fabulous flavor. But it's a hearty vegetable that comes out at this time of the year all the time. So it's one of the reasons why people like it in the winter. I also like it because it is so hearty, it tends not to wilt unless you add heat, which is what we're going to do with this. So I have normally the recipe's like 8 to 10 sausage links, 1 to 2 fennel. This looks like I can get away with, I'm going to do 2, but I'm going to save these pieces for another recipe I use it for. I actually like fennel. I eat this, or anise root. I eat it on its own, but I love putting it in salads. It just gives it a whole different spin.
Hey, y'all, we can see when you share and when you don't. So please share this with 5 of your friends and family. Even if you have already shared, it helps so much. Really. And tap those screens, you guys. We got 10,000 likes. Let's get Mr. Frank here up to 30,000 likes. He deserves it. He works so hard for us without any gripes, and he's always so nice and cheerful with a smile on his face. So please,
Uh,
please, please.
you know, the one thing about the Food Talk TV collaborative is everybody works hard. We all have our different experiences, and that's what makes us so exciting. We were very excited last night because we had a couple big creators drop in, I heard. Whoops. And that, see, makes us this excited. But we like everybody. We don't care whether you have 10 followers or 10,000. So what I'm doing right now is checking a couple of the sausage. Now, I already pricked them, so I'm not worried about putting this reader. So it's only at about 117, 114. I want it to get a little bit hotter because I want it to, I want to make it to about 145 so that I am able to take these out and let them rest before I do the next step. All right, so I've got all of my fennel cooked or cut now. And that's going to be the next thing to go in, so I don't have to go very far with it.
Hey, y'all, make sure you're tapping those screens. We're almost at 12,000 likes now. Please share the live. It helps us out so much. And Frank here is making sausage with fennel, apples, and shallot, and what else? Chili flakes, olive oil, apple cider vinegar,
That's about it
That's about it. All right.
for
Well,
now.
what is this dish called? Like, what is the actual dish?
Well, there is an Italian name, but I just call it sausage, fennel, and apple.
Okay.
But the Italian pronunciation is not one that I'm very good at. But when I post this on the on Food Talk blog this week, I'll give you the Italian pronunciation. Now, I love sausage. I love it anyway. I don't care whether it's in the casing, out of the casing. Probably it. I will admit I love ground beef even more than I love like a steak, and I love sausage in any way, shape, or form. Especially love a well-made home cook, home style sausage. Um, these sausages I picked up at the local grocery store. But if I can go to the butcher and buy really good, well-flavored ones, I am always happy. Matter of fact, when I go to street fairs, I judge a street fair based on how their sausage, peppers, and onions are.
Well, they look good. I actually make a lot of my own sausages because they don't have breakfast sausage here in Sweden. So I have to make breakfast sausage a lot.
So you know what it's always interesting because breakfast sausage is, has a different flavor than dinner sausages.
Bama
Uh,
just became top one viewer. Thank you, Bama.
oh, hey, Mama, how are you?
We have
I know
9.
everybody's saying you're going live twice in 2 weeks, and yes, I'm even going to go live next week, as a matter of fact.
I like the sound of sausages are making too, Mr. York.
I could eat sausages any version,
My,
breakfast, lunch, doesn't
go,
matter how I make them.
my week is going great, John. Hey y'all, why don't y'all tell us where y'all are from today? Like what state are you from or where are you watching us from today? And I'll read it off to Mr. Frank here while he's cutting up his apples and stuff like that. Minnesota, Texas, Ohio, Mississippi, Colorado, West Virginia, Iowa, Georgia, Texas, Arkansas, Illinois, Florida, Pennsylvania,
Oh, we got a bunch of people all
Florida,
over the place
North
tonight.
Carolina, New York, New Jersey, Florida, South Carolina, Oklahoma. Whew, that's a lot of people. Arkansas. We got 11 people in here from Shares now. Tennessee. Let's try to get that bumped up to 30 people in here from Shares, you guys. Hi, Blue Smiles. Hi there, John. Hi, everyone. Please make sure you're tapping the screens. We have Frank here, and he is making sausage with fennel and apples up Michigan. And he is doing a wonderful job, you guys. It looks delicious. Frank, we can't see the sausages because my picture's in the way, so maybe, yeah. Oh, those look beautiful.
They're not fully cooked yet. They're at about 140, 145 degrees. I want them to, because I'm going to add them after as I started sautéing these. I'm just kind of letting them finish cooking, and they'll get added back. So you're noticing I'm constantly checking to see when the majority of them hit that magic moment that I want. You
He's
like yours done more, do them more. It's totally up to you.
he's making sausages with fennel and apples and shallot today. He says this is a very comfort meal dish. It's a rustic dish, and I bet it just smells lovely in your house right now.
I have to admit that when the fennel hit the oil, it did give it a great aroma.
I love it. Uh-oh, you man down.
I got a man down, but you know what? That is totally okay because I'm gonna pull that sucker out. The one thing about cooking this much is I don't burn as much. All right, those are gonna sit aside and just gonna sit while I finish doing my thing here. So
Uh,
I put in, as you can see, this is the fennel root that I sliced up. And what I'm doing is I want to make sure I get as much of that olive oil and the sausage oil that's left in the pan and get that coated really well. I'm also going to put in a little bit of hot pepper flakes. Now remember, when you're working with dried hot pepper flakes, the idea is you want to put it in early enough so that it gets into the oil, because the fat is what picks up the flavor. So you don't want to add it in just at the last minute. You want to put it in, and I didn't put a lot. I just put in a little bit. I want a little bit of heat. I'm going to put some black pepper in.
I
Just a bit of
love that. What is that? Can we get
They're
those
little pepper and
Amazon?
salt and pepper. A friend of mine gave them to me while I was in Provincetown, and I've fallen in love with them. They're small, they're cute, they're metal. I love them.
I love them too. Don't be surprised if I come visit you and they mysteriously go missing.
You know, I've heard things like that happen. All right, so now this is doing its thing, and all I'm going to do now is let this caramelize. And that's it. That's going to just sit there. It's going to caramelize about 5 minutes, maybe actually 4 minutes if I give it time. I'll check it. Now remember, fennel is really tough. It's not like other vegetables, so you need time. I want this to both caramelize and soften. Can you see what they look like here?
Oh, that looks. I wish we had smell-o-vision. That looks amazing. Hey, you guys, share this live with 5 of your friends and family, please. It doesn't only help out your wonderful host here, it helps out all of Food Talk TV. And also, make sure you tap those screens. It helps us stay on the FYP. Let's try to get Mr. Frank here to 30,000 likes and get our people back up in here. I know we're at 102, but he was at 150 before. Let's get it back up in here. People are asking when you're going to put the shallots in, Frank.
I actually don't put the shallots in until these are soft, because they will overcook while I'm waiting for them. So the shallots will go in, let's see, in about 3 minutes.
Okay. He is making sausage with fennel shallots. Now, what heat do you have your little electric skillet on?
What's that?
What heat do you have your little electric skillet on?
I am kind of oscillating between 300 and 350. I'm sort of reading the temperature of the oil, how cold the food is. I don't want it to be so hot that it cooks so fast that nothing gets to where I want it to be.
Okay.
Now you can
Um,
use Granny Smith for this recipe or Honey Crisp. The object is you want an apple that's going to stay together. You want to leave the skins on, and you want it to have a bit of tartness. You don't want it to be so soft that it melts.
because I was about to ask you the reason why you were using the Granny Smith, is it because the savory with from the sausage mixed together with the spicy of the chili flakes and then the sweetness of the shallot and fennel mixed with the tartness of the apple? Is it like a play on flavor? Is
It
basically
is a
what you're.
play on flavor. The tartness cuts through the grease in the sausage. So it just, you can do like a Honey Crisp, which actually has a wonderful flavor, but that also tends to be on a little bit of a tart side. But if you like a sweeter apple, then what I would suggest is you don't add the apples right away, because the sweet apples are more like a baking apple. They will soften much faster, and you want texture when you serve this. You want to see everything. You want to bite everything and feel it.
Hey, y'all, this is Food Talk TV. Please make sure you're sharing this live with 5 family. Please tap the screens here for Mr. Frank. Let us get to 30,000 likes. We're halfway there, you guys. He's making sausage with apple and fennel and shallot today, and it's looking
All
be.
right. Let me show you how this looks so you get a better idea of when I said I wanted these to be a little bit caramelized. And see how they've cooked down?
Yes, they soften. They look almost like onions would, right, when you first start caramelizing them.
Pretty much. All right, now that's the stage here where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw my shallots in.
Oh, it's such pretty colors. I love the combination.
And I'm going to just give it a quick stir. And if I see any shallot that I missed that has a little bit of a end on it, I'm just going to take it out because I do want the shallots to pull apart. I don't want any heavy cores in there.
Question, Frank. Mr. York
Yes.
asks, would cardamom pods be good in this?
You know, cardamom is astringent. So it's one of those things not everybody likes. I like cardamom pods. I would say use the pods, but don't crush them, and sample it, taste it. It's not something I have used in this. I use cardamom a lot because I like the flavor. I would imagine though, if you left the pods whole without crushing them, so that you could take them out and not let somebody bite into one, it may have a really great companion flavor actually. You know, there's a bunch of now this I'm just going to let do its thing for a few minutes. It's about let's see, probably about 4 minutes. This will sit and just steam, and that's going to soften the shallots. I've got the apples ready to go. I'll finish my topping. So usually for this recipe, it's usually 8 to 10 sausages, 2 fennel bulbs. Reserve the stalks, although you can put them. But what I'll do is I'll take these stalks. I'll either use them in a salad and I'll chop them up like celery, or I'll put them in a freezer bag. And when I make stock, I'll use them for stock or something else. 2 good-sized apples. Now, I got Honeycrisp today. They were on sale. Honeycrisp are really expensive out here normally, but they were on sale, so I bought a bunch of them. You could have used a Honeycrisp instead of Granny, but I happen to like Granny Smith. They're my favorite, but a Honeycrisp is just as good. And salt, pepper, the vinegar, and then we're going to add, in a little bit, we're going to add some apple vinegar, apple cider vinegar, which is the cure-all to everything. Oh man, does this smell good.
Frank, we have a question. What is fennel comparable to in taste?
Fennel has a slightly licorice flavor. So if you smell it, it smells like orgeat, the Italian liqueur. So it's got a slight licorice, not a super sweet black licorice, a red licorice flavor, more like a black licorice. You'll know it because it grows everywhere, and you'll see it oftentimes and has a frond very similar to dill. But when you smell it, it's like, oh, this reminds me of licorice. That's what and it does have a little bit of a licorice flavor. It's actually traditionally known. A lot of people will eat it to help them digest. So Italian families will often serve a bulb of it cut up after dinner, and while you're sitting there having cheese and fruit, you can eat this. We serve it. I often will slice it real thin, and I'll peel winter oranges, and then now these days I've added a kale to it, chopped up. I'll make a citrus salad dressing, and the great thing about that salad is it doesn't get soft. Nothing in it goes soft, so it's perfect to bring to a pot, a buffet, covered dish. It stays crunchy, and it'll keep. So you Ziploc it overnight. You have a salad left over. It's one of those salads that when you make a salad, if you add dressing, you can't reuse it. If when you use citrus, anise, and the kale, it's a great salad. So it's one of the things. But normally at the holidays, we would have a orange and fennel or anise root platter with just a little bit of olive oil, maybe, and a squeeze of orange on it, and that would be just a dish that would be on the table. All right, so
Really good explanation. Thank you, Frank.
now we are almost at that point. So now I have done so far is I took my sausages, I cooked them off till they were about 140 degrees. I put them aside. Then I added the sliced fennel root, and I got that caramelized. I let it cook about 8 minutes. Then I've added the shallots, spent about 3 minutes. Maybe it'll be a total of about 4 minutes when they're done. Now I'm going to add back my sausages and then add my apples.
Hey, y'all, this is Food Talk TV, and who we have cooking here today is Frank Mentor SF. He is one of our food content creators here on Food Talk TV. Sorry.
No problem. Here's something I want you to do. A lot of people will put their sausage on paper plate, on a paper napkin. No, I want all those drippings to go back in here. Don't put them in a paper. This isn't like cooking bacon. All those drippings goes back into the sausage.
What sausage is it?
I'm using a sweet, mild sausage. I'm not using a super hot, spicy. This is just a plain traditional sausage, nothing fancy. But you could use chicken sausage, garlic, fennel, any sausage you like, you can use. All right,
But
I've
you know,
got those suckers nicely nestled.
you know, in this
Now,
we save our bacon grease.
what's that?
In the South, we save our bacon grease.
Oh yeah, well, sausage grease cooks up a little different than the bacon grease. So I want this back because I didn't use a lot of grease. I'm only using a little bit at the beginning, and I'm using the whatever was residual from the sausages. Now I'm going to add the apple cider vinegar, and it's going to bubble up. Now I add my apple slices right on top, and I can get a whiff of that apple cider vinegar all of a sudden.
It looks beautiful.
All right, now that is just going to do its thing. I'm going to set my watch, or actually, somebody set a clock. I need at about 4 minutes. Let me know so I can give it a turnover, okay?
I absolutely will
Now,
let you.
remember we were talking about pomegranates? The nice thing, I like putting a pomegranate on this because it has that fresh bite of tartness. Remember, this is now melded. It's done its thing for a little while. Well, let me show you how to do this. And I tried doing this on a live a couple weeks ago, and the pomegranate itself was awful. When you buy a pomegranate, you want a good color. It should be hard. It should feel heavy. Okay, if it's mottled, it feels old or dry, don't buy it. That's going to be in a bad shape. You just want to cut it. I think it's called across the equator by cutting it this angle. Now, when we were kids, we would sit there and we would pick at these and make a mess. There's actually a super easy way to do this. Now I got a little bit of the pomegranate juice. I don't want to waste it. I'm going to throw it in there. All right, it's just a plain, you probably aren't going to be able to see it, so let me see. I'll just do it this way. Plain bowl of water. You take your pomegranate and you literally are just going to squeeze it into the water. And what happens is all of the seeds pop right out. That is how quick it is to seed a pomegranate. And I'll bring it up to the camera because I know it's on the bottom side. But I wanted people to see this is how easy. Yes, you can buy them, and I often do buy them already seeded in the grocery store. But if you see them and there's none left, don't panic. You can do this yourself. And see what happens? The seeds go to the bottom, and all of the white pith stays at the top, and then all you have to do is scoop it out.
This is such a brilliant hack. Thank you. Now,
And
where
if
did
you happen to have, and I'll be honest, if you happen to have, uh, um, what do you call it? A fine mesh strainer or fabric, you could, if you wanted to, strain the juice out and use it and drink the water which has the pomegranate flavor. You could do that. I don't necessarily want to go crazy. I just wanted to be able to use it for in a little bit.
where did you learn this hack from?
Well, we've been eating these since I was a kid, and there's a bunch of new ways. And I believe last holiday season I was reminded because there were folks who trying this on TikTok. But my mom had used this. I was the one growing up where I got stuck in the kitchen when we were cooking dinner, Thanksgiving, or because I'm the oldest, and there were certain tasks that I was given. Cutting up the seafood for some of the seafood salads, stuffing the squid, and often peeling and getting all of the pomegranates out. So I was always looking for an easier way. And some people hit them, some people bang them, but the pomegranate itself is just firm enough that it just does this easy. So now, and I'll show you. There you go. That's half a pomegranate at the bottom, and all I have to do now is strain the water out, and it's good to go.
Hey, y'all, this is Food Talk TV. Please make sure you share this live with 5 of your family. Please tap those screens. We're at 21,000 likes. Let's try to get them to 30,000 likes, you guys, and help us stay back on this FYP. This is Frank Mentor SF. Sorry, I lost my breath. And he is making sausage with fennel and apples and shallots, and he's going to top it with that lovely pomegranate. So
All
please
right, so
make sure you're watching.
as it's steaming, I need a little bit more liquid, so I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons of water that I had prepared just in case, because sometimes you just need a little extra. And it'll go back and finish it steaming. How's my timer look?
It is time.
Okay.
I was
So
about to tell you time.
give me another 4 minutes, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna. Will you talk about Food Talk TV? I want to go get a spoon so that I could finish this.
All right. Hey, y'all, this is Food Talk TV. And if you don't know, this is Frank Mentor SF, and he is making sausage, fennel, shallot, and apple, shallot, and sausages. Sorry, my brain just like totally froze. Please share this live with 5 of your friends and family. It helps us stay on the FYP. Tap those screens, and you can find this live if you missed it on our YouTube, on our Facebook. We also have other wonderful social media platforms that you can check out in the link tree. And this recipe will be up on our foodtalktv.com website. And speaking of the website, you can also see our cooking classes, cooking club, and everything that Food Talk TV has to offer you.
All right. I needed to get a spoon for a little bit. This is almost going to be done very, very soon.
Everyone's asking if that is a Hulk mug that you have over there on the windows.
Say that again.
Everyone's asking if that is a Hulk mug you have on the windowsill.
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. It holds my garden and my shears for outside, but yes, it is.
Love it.
All right, so while this is finishing up, got a couple minutes left of that dish, and I'm just going to chop up those fronds from the actual fennel, because it needs a little fresh greenery, it needs a little fresh taste. So I like to use these little bits and pieces.
The sprigs.
The sprigs, yeah. Now, if I had used green onion or scallions instead of the shallots, I would have then saved some of the greenery to use for that. But since I didn't, I'm using the sprigs. And they're just very fine, so they'll go on. They won't kind of make it super, super intense.
You have a few more sprigs, I think, that are hiding from you in your little thing, your wooden.
Oh, yeah, I can see there's a few. That's perfect. All right. Because, I just want it to top. I don't want it to go crazy. I'm going to make one dish out of this, and then I'll serve it when we eat dinner tonight.
It looks so good already. I wish I could smell it.
It's a great, easy dinner. You can speed this process up. For instance, if you had already had the sausages cooked, and maybe the day before, like if you were grilling sausage, you could actually make it halfway through. I'm checking my sausage, make sure that I'm hitting my numbers. I'm hitting my numbers where I want them to be now.
It looks really good, Frank.
If you guys, I wish you could actually smell this. And it is literally done.
Um,
So,
ask.
how do you serve it? You're going to take a little bit of your apples and shallots and fennel, and you just then pile on your sausage. How much would you serve? You know, it depends. I would normally say this would be one of those dishes you would serve family style. Take as much of that, you know, and it's not going to be an overly saucy one. So this is really a great dish to do family style. Make it look pretty so Kaz is proud that I can actually make a dish look fun. And you'll notice I did one slice of apple big because I want to use that to make sure people know that there's apple in it. I actually did that a little bit on purpose. And now
Um,
just a little bit of green. Does not need a lot.
Frank, they're asking about the pomegranate.
They're going on now.
Oh, okay.
But I have to clean my rims, you know? Got to make this look pretty. Because that webmaster, he gets mad if I don't take a picture.
I agree.
But again, this is comfort food. You could serve this right from the pan. It'd be perfectly acceptable. Or you'd put it in a great big bowl, a shallow bowl, and you'd be dead ready to go. A nice Italian bread or a nice crusty bread. That's what it's looking like. So now, what do I do next? I'm going to take my rag, my bompine, you know. I'm going to take a handful of these that I strained a few minutes ago. I'm going to put them in the rag because I want to drain. I don't want any more liquid into my dish. I'm going to make sure there's no more of the pith anywhere. I'm just going to soak them up. I want them to just dry out a little bit. The one thing about buying them at the store is they don't have any piths. You now have a lovely, savory, sweet, tart dish.
Oh my God, that looks so good. Can you eat a bite out of your skillet for us? Show us,
I
like,
was going to taste it, of course.
ugh, this is my favorite part is when people try their food.
Let me grab my plate back here because I had a plate that I washed when I went in the other room. Let's see. Take a piece of, which one do I like? I'm going to take this piece of sausage, cover it a little bit. Now, this on top of maybe an arugula salad because you got a little pepper, a little bite, would be kicker. My sausage is cooked through.
Beautiful.
I'm going to take a little bite of the fennel with it, a piece of shallot, get a little bit of the pomegranate. I want the perfect bite. If I'm going to do it, a little bit
Sprinkle
of everything.
a bit of that.
It's roasted, porky, appley. The onion is really sweet. The shallot's got super sweet, but you still taste it. You've got texture from the apples. They still They aren't going to break apart. See? They're still semi-solid, so they're soft. So you can eat this without a knife if you would want to, but it's done. It literally is ready to go. This is definitely a dish you could make earlier. It'll reheat fine. If you know you're going to make it to serve at a party and want it to reheat, then what you probably would do is maybe undercook the last few minutes so that the residual heat will let it keep cooking. You could reheat this in a ceramic bowl with foil or in the microwave. It'll reheat fine.
That
So what
looks
y'all think? Who's going to try it? That's what I want to know. And if you try it, you're going to let me know, because we want to know when you try one of our recipes. We want to hear,
exactly.
did it come out? Did it not come out? You can always leave comments on the blog. All of our recipes have our comments open. We always want to hear suggestions. So if you try it with a pear or you try it with carbon, let me know. I'm always interested in that.
It looks delicious, Frank. I think you did a spectacular job.
Well, I am so glad that you came on live with me tonight. Thank you, everybody. You know, it's a Friday. It's a holiday. I want to thank all of our service folks and their families for the service that people have been involved in over the years. So I know a lot of people weren't here or not available, but since I was making dinner, I wanted to at least share my night with you and share what I was able to make tonight.
A
I
little.
hope everybody enjoyed it. Get a kick out of it. The recipe will be on Food Talk TV, which will also then be on YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest, um, Twitter. We're all over. And I'm really excited, folks, for those that our newest thing. Ashton is going to be launching the first of our cooking classes. Now, if you follow Just Like Granny, we are very excited because she does some incredible Southern foods. So she and Bama are, they take the cake with our Southern-inspired food dishes. So she'll be doing our first one. We also have our new game coming up with Sketchy Chef. That's going to be more details to come. Every single day, one of us is live, sometimes more than once. And their next series will be coming up soon. Do you want to tell them what the next series is? It's side dish, right?
It's Thanksgiving side dishes.
So we've always got something up our sleeves. So please leave comments, share, like, follow us. We're all around for you. I hope
If you
everybody has
want,
a good weekend.
if
Ashton,
you
thank
want
you.
to, if you want to sign up for the first cooking class that we're having, all you have to do is either go to our website, our Facebook page, or click the link in my bio, and it will take you right to it. It's only $6, and our first lesson is going to be buttermilk biscuits. And thank you so much for the 31,000 likes, the 25 shares. It means a lot to us.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. Have a good weekend. We'll see you again tomorrow.
All right. Bye now.